You dominate the way those teams did in the 90s. I give them much props and much respect. John Madani's also here as well. We'll be enjoying our Football Friday because it's always fun when this guy comes in the building. We get the chance to talk Cowboys. He knows a little bit about playoffs. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Robert Jones, welcome, man. How's it been, man?
Man, it's great to be back, man. I'm just here having fun. You know, the camaraderie. Kind of feels like a locker room in here.
You know how it goes.
Yeah, like a locker room.
Forgive the smell. It's like, we're working on that part of it, But, when Rod and AJ get in here in the afternoon,
it's kind of nasty.
Anything we try to do in the mornings is pretty much out the window. But at any rate, well, obviously it's good to see you. We appreciate you giving us some time, fighting the raindrops to get here.
Yeah. Fighting the raindrops, man. Drop my kids off.
Mm-hmm.
Send them off to school, give them some lunch money.
Right.
I'm going to do the radio.
Yeah. How's basketball going?
You know what, man? My son wants to strictly focus on football.
Exactly.
Yeah, he participated in the U.S. Army Combine that they do every year. I didn't even know it exists. Some of the nation's top high school underclassmen all gathered in one area in San Antonio. Then the seniors played the actual game. So this was all last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And so it was fun to see, exciting. Went down and had a good time. So I'm that proud papa.
I mean, you should be, man. You should be. Well, that's awesome. I'm pretty sure we'll be hearing from Caleb very shortly. Very shortly, trust me.
No question. What we need to find out about, we're going to obviously get into the NFL stuff, but does this intrigue you at all, the fact that your alma mater has a head coaching position that's open now that Skip Holtz has agreed to?
Talk about it.
Now, to be honest, and I mean, we'll get your thoughts on it, but from an outsider without a vested interest, I see this as a head coach leaving a pretty good job, but basically going from a Conference USA job into a coaching job in a BCS conference. So I'm sure that must have been the attraction. Plus the recruiting, although there's a lot of talent in the Carolinas, South Florida is loaded.
Virginia, too.
I mean, but he's going to South Florida, man. It's not like Florida State or Florida.
Yeah.
Man, he's going to South Florida.
South Florida was ranked number 2 in the country at one point a couple of years ago.
You said the key word.
But I don't remember East. And I don't want you to come over the counter at me, but I mean, I don't remember East Carolina being ranked number 2.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man. It's like East Carolina gets these coaches every year. And I just talked to the assistant athletic director. I talked to a couple of alumni, and East Carolina is the type of school we'll get coaches in there, and I'm like, well, as soon as he start winning, he's gonna leave.
Yeah. Wow.
He's gonna leave. I mean, Bill Lewis did it. I mean, my senior year, with 11-1. It's like he's on top of the world. I was like, Bill Lewis everywhere, I believe, was the slogan. And sure enough, Georgia Tech calls him, and I'm like, ACC, and he's at Georgia Tech, 2 years? I mean, it's just a stepping stone. And so when I spoke to the assistant athletic director, I said, look, we need an alumni, someone that has played there, someone that has attended there, to be committed to being there. Committed.
Yeah.
A reason for staying, because East Carolina can become a BCS team, but we have to have the consistency. I mean, we produced the players. Come on now, we got a 2,000-yard rusher now.
Nah, yeah,
we got a 2,000-yard rusher.
The real deal.
Yeah,
he's a part of that Pirate. Man, we're talking Chris Johnson, of course, for the folks who don't know, the guy who just won the Offensive Player of the Year award for sure.
And it's not just a Johnny come lately. Obviously, you played there. Jeff Blake played there. I mean, there's been some.
Oh, but here's the deal. Ruffin McNeil has it as well. And
Garrard from Jacksonville.
David Garrard.
Yeah, most definitely. I know you. Now, Ruffin McNeil was the defensive line coach the year after you left. Did you ever go back and did y'all ever cross paths in any way? Because I also know he played defensive back there in the late 70s, early 80s.
Which is amazing.
Which is. Because,
I can't believe that guy was
he blew up a little bit, That's crazy. But a guy like that, I think, fits the mold exactly what you're talking about. He played there. There's a reason for him to stay there. He's got an invested interest there because it's his alma mater. And I think the way he was done at Texas Tech, they fired him this past Wednesday. He deserves a chance to get a shot. Do you believe like a guy like Ruffin McNeil could be a good fit there at East Carolina?
I believe he could be a good fit, but also a few others that I have in mind could be a fit. But this game has come down to just being a business. It's about the money. It's like, You know, that's why players are leaving school early, you know, to go to the NFL, because it's about the money. It's like everything is about the money. And I'm not saying we don't deserve to make a living, but, you know, if I had to do it all over again, my career would have been the entire 10 years, 11 years with the Dallas Cowboys.
Right.
You know, and so I was young, didn't understand, and I'm like, just want to go after that money. So free agency, go after the money, go after the money. And I think the commitment, you know, when you look at a guy like Jason Garrett, you know, he was committed. He was with the Cowboys, man, the majority of his career, you know, as a backup. He knew his position. He knew where he stood and built a relationship with the management, with Jerry Jones. And now, you know, the guy's offensive coordinator looked at as being the head coach. I'm like, Jason, yeah, he's reaping the benefits. He's making $3 million a year. You know,
and how much of that chasing the money mentality is instilled into the players by agents?
I think a lot.
Yeah.
I think a lot of agents are out saying, look, if you come out now, you know, you can be, you know, early second round, late first round, possibly in the middle of the first round. So you got them out there. I had an agent my junior year saying, hey, if you come out, Tampa Bay will take you in the second round. I'm like, nah, I don't want none of that. I'm enjoying college. You know, everything's still free. I got a free meal, you know, free rent, no worries, no responsibilities. I ain't paying no taxes.
Right.
Any of that stuff, man. It's like, you know, be patient.
Yeah.
You know, the young guy you're just talking about a few minutes ago during the break about, coming out early. I'm like, look, man, we didn't beat Alabama now. You got to hold on. You
know the irony, but you know, because you got a teenager, and my daughter talking about, well, I just can't wait to get out. You know, the freedom of being an adult. I'm like, well, that's a funny word for it. the freedom to pay income taxes, the freedom to pay. You know, you want to call it the freedom of getting out and being an adult. Careful which word you choose.
Yeah, you got to be. I would not rush it, man. I would come back. I would play. You know, my senior year. I don't know, man. These guys are just chasing after the money. When you get it, then what?
Earl has 2 years of eligibility still, does he not?
Sophomore, yeah.
He's a redshirt sophomore, and the rule, you just have to be 3 years removed from high school, so he redshirted a year. He really has 2 more years he could play, if he wanted, but...
And I understand, man, that some of these guys don't want to get hurt and ruin their chances. You know, like Bradford, you know, did he hurt his stock? Is his stock going to increase? If you're good, you're good. You know what? You may not come out... Bradford may not come out being the #1 pick, you know, even though he won the Heisman a couple years ago. It may not be the #1 pick, but if you're good, you're good. I mean, Brady Quinn comes out and he's just terrible. He's not doing anything. I mean, you know, he didn't get hurt coming out. You know, so I just think he just hadn't played well. So if you can play well, if you are committed and you have confidence in your ability, I truly believe that you can, you know, you can stay in college, do what you need to do, you know, finish your degree, and then go right into the NFL and just play and let the contract take care of itself.
And you did exactly that. I mean, you stayed until your senior year. Of course, you were an All-American there at East Carolina and also a finalist for the Buckets Award. And you have the right to
consensus.
Consensus. Hey, you're supposed to say. I would say the same thing. And then a first-round pick, of course, of the Dallas Cowboys in the 1992 draft. And I would assume you stay in your senior year, you would probably also agree that was the reason why the Dallas Cowboys probably saw that maturity in you. You were old enough. You probably at that point, like you said, I chose to stay here because I wanted to finish this process. You finished it.